Neil deGrasse Tyson, more like this heel done gaffed. Bye, son. Bang. This astrophysicist swallowed his whole foot on social media live, and we're going to dunk on him on this too smart for you bowl of dude soup.
Finally, we get the one of the nerds. Finally.
Now we're the bullies.
Take that, millionaire. That's my new catchphrase.
Yeah.
Well,
Show me a millionaire. I'll razz him.
Yeah, I got to take him down
Right?
a peg.
And then I'll hit him with my catchphrase. Take that, millionaire.
Classic
He
Raz.
said the thing.
They look at you for a little bit, drive off in their Lamborghini with their beautiful woman or man next to them. Doesn't matter.
It's not a Lamborghini. It's one of those open top cars that's like mostly engine that has the fenders that go over.
Like a rat
They
rod?
put a top hat on. And
It's
they
the
good day to
car
you.
John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John fly away in for some reason at the end of Grease.
Yeah. Not what I was picturing, but okay.
People have been talking a lot about Grease lately, and I don't.
No,
Have they?
no one talks about
I
Grease.
remember somebody doing a whole breakdown of what is his name? Something Tommy DeLuca's? It's Joey Zuko? I don't. Whatever.
It's Joey Zuko, yeah.
The way that he.
Wait, no, it's not.
I saw like a 3-page breakdown of his expression when he sees Olivia Newton-John all greased up at the end. And I was
Yeah.
like, why did I read that? Also kind of correct. I think I agree.
Danny Zuko.
Yeah. Danny Zuko. Thank you.
Do people, the people who like Grease, is it mostly men or mostly women?
Yes.
Mostly women, I would
split.
Mostly
suspect.
women.
Right?
Yes.
I grew up watching it, but I was also raised by 2 women, so...
It's one of those weird movies that's a male fantasy,
Right.
but for women.
Yeah.
Because it's like, what if you were already the coolest dude, and then this new girl showed up, and she was super hot, but then she wanted to get hotter for you.
Mm-hmm.
So she does, and then she bangs you. Like, that's the plot of Grease.
Yeah.
Which
You're not wrong.
How is
Yeah.
that like? That's a male fantasy.
Well,
She goes through like the smoking and the changing, and she becomes a different person, and it's all
Yeah.
celebrated.
But then
and he does nothing.
No.
Yeah, he does. He
tries.
He goes to gym once.
No, he like put on the sweater. And
Oh,
he tried
he
to be
gets a
all
little
preppy.
softer.
But wasn't
Yeah.
he
Which
was
makes zero
immediately like,
sense
this
because
is
it's it's the end of the movie. It's graduation, and he's wearing like a. They're like, "Well, you went, Jock. What are you doing?"
myself in this.
Yeah, it's like you're gonna go to another country and bang another chick. Like,
Yeah.
Well, we got
Sorry,
a real.
sorry.
No,
Sorry.
it's
Yeah.
fine. We
I
gotta.
can talk about Grease. I've seen the movie thousands of times.
I wouldn't have said that
Because
publicly.
when you grow up and you have a VHS collection, you just watch
Yeah.
what you
Oh, it
have.
was in
I
the
saw
collection.
the musical Annie way more times than I
Oh,
should
I
have.
watched that first Scooby-Doo movie a lot.
That's actually not bad.
was my
Well,
go-to.
it's
The
bad. but-
first Scooby Doo. Oh, that's a great movie.
I loved
It's
it.
James
good.
Gunn Scooby Doo.
Yeah.
Raja Gosnell's Scooby Doo.
These are okay. We'll
James
talk about
Gunn wrote the first
he
first
wrote
two,
it.
both Scooby Doo movies.
Of course he did.
And they're great. But he wrote it a rated R movie.
Yes.
To be clear,
It wasn't that far off.
he wrote a rated R movie based on Scooby Doo, and then the studio intervened and said, no. You can't make it
do
that
that.
way.
You can.
with
I
our
feel like you
beloved
can still see the DNA of
You
an R-rated
absolutely
movie in
can.
there.
When Sugar Ray shows up on that island, they play that great song.
Sugar
They
Ray's
swap
new
each
album
other's
out,
bodies
just by the
and
way.
stuff.
I got to read some sponsors real quick.
go
sorry.
for it. Yeah, sorry.
I'm never going to get in. All right, this podcast, this star-studded podcast, we got a lot coming up for you guys. We got a random information trivia because Neil deGrasse Tyson taught us the way to live. That's coming up. But it's brought to you by 3 fine sponsors, Honey, Calm, and ExpressVPN. You can get Honey for free at joinhoney.com/dude. Dude Soup listeners can get 25% off a Calm premium subscription at calm.com/dude. And you can get 3 months for free with a 1-year package at expressvpn.com/dude. All right, so we're going to be talking about a lot of things today, apparently musicals quite a bit, which actually it can be topical, or at least it will be in a minute. You'll have to stay tuned to figure out how. I'm Lawrence. I'm your host for this week. I'm joined by Alana, Adam, and James.
Hello.
Hey,
Is Scooby-Doo a musical?
probably
No.
could be.
No.
But why isn't it?
They could do that.
They absolutely
I know
could.
that Bloodhound Gang made a song.
There's plenty of musical interludes. I feel
what?
like I've seen them.
Scooby Snacks.
Oh,
Oh, that's true. I feel like I've seen the Scooby-Doo crew donning instruments and playing some like groovy 60s tunes at some
Sure.
point.
they did. The old Hanna-Barbera stuff. But it would also they did the thing which I guess was maybe ahead of its time, but they were like tonight's special guest Batman and Robin, or like,
yeah.
and they're like, hello, our
Or-
car broke down. It's just like-
Even worse would be Adam West. Why is-
they did that. There's a Johnny Bravo episode that I think Seth MacFarlane worked on where Johnny Bravo's mom goes missing, but she's been gone for about 5 minutes. And he freaks out and he gets the help of Adam West to help him track him down. But it's Adam West basically not being Batman to avoid any sort of like copyright claims.
Trying to not be a good detective.
But he is like the most Batman. I don't know.
Oh, I see.
It is like probably the best episode of Johnny Bravo, I would guess, maybe.
Wow, bold
Welcome
claim.
to Johnny
Yeah,
Bravcast,
I did not-
Controversy that we're going to be touching on.
I did not
top
think-
10
Look,
episodes.
my childhood's coming back, okay? I saw Rocko's Modern Life and Invader Zim previews for the Netflix series coming. I think.
Yeah,
this
I
month.
actually got pretty excited about Zim. That's so good. Yeah.
Wait, they're remaking Rocko's Modern Life?
Yeah.
Yeah. Spunky. It's about an Australian. What is he?
He's a wallaby.
Wallaby. That's what he is. Yeah.
And he runs a sex line, right?
No, there is, yes, that is a viral video because basically when we were kids, cartoons were whatever the fuck.
It didn't matter.
And so, yes, there is
I
an
watched
episode
Rocko's
where
Modern Life when I was a kid.
he gets a job at a sex line, but as a kid you don't realize.
Oh, he wasn't doing
it's
that
a
all the
sex
time.
No, he's not
Sorry,
always.
We have to justify our title. Sorry to drag everyone to this, but Neil deGrasse Tyson kind of made an ass of himself on social media over the weekend. After some very appalling events, he decided to chime in with all of these stats that I don't even really know what the intent was. Here, Omar, I'm going to slack it to you. Maybe you can throw it up on the monitor there.
To create awareness for Rocko's Modern Life.
Clearly,
back
yeah.
on
I believe
TV.
so, yes.
Yeah.
So he says in the past 48 hours, USA horrifically lost 34 people to mass shootings. But then he followed up with, on average, across 48 hours, we also lose 500 due to medical errors, 300 to the flu, 250 to suicide, 200 car accidents, and 40 to homicide via handgun. And then he closes with, often, our emotions respond more to spectacle than to data. Not sure what the intention was. Maybe it's to make us all feel better that
An
more
early
people
look
die
at
of
the
the flu.
upcoming season of Cosmos.
I think
Yeah.
the point he's trying to make is that, in a less polite way, that we're all overreacting and that everyone needs to calm the fuck down. I think it's like a lot of people
Yeah.
die for a lot of reasons. It happens. It's life. I think that's kind of his point. He's trying to be comforting, but he's too much of a nut.
The thing about his statement is that 500 medical errors don't happen at the same
Intentionally.
time
Yeah.
in the same hospital room.
So they're mistakes.
yeah.
That's the thing
They're
that got me. Is like
whoopsies.
these are accidents, except the homicides, obviously.
There's also active effort being taken to prevent all of those things. Whereas there are things that, not going to get into it, things that could be done to curtail the other kinds of deaths that aren't being done.
It just seemed like a weird interjection.
Yes.
Like I don't know. Like I think
Yeah.
you said it already, but what am I supposed to do with this information? Like you've provided it, but now I don't know what to do with
What's
this
the plan,
information.
Before social media, you'd have this thought in your head and then go, well, good night.
That's interesting
Yeah.
for me, and then you'd go to sleep.
That's
Yeah.
not how his Twitter works, though. It's all shit that nobody asked for.
Yeah, I
Yes,
don't follow
repeatedly.
I was saying I don't follow him. Is this?
Yeah.
It's pretty
tone?
par of the course.
He makes me wish I was a flat earther just so I could annoy him.
He will often chime in with needless, unrequested information that ruins anyone's good time about anything. Not to say that that's what's happening here, but typically, yes, he is the there is no sound in space guy.
I
You're
still
having a
love
good
him,
time.
but
I do too, because Cosmos is great. And
Oh,
I,
like shitting on movies.
yeah,
Sure, but
what
you
was
know
it? Oh, it's Frozen. He dunked on the Frozen poster because he was like, actually,
right.
snowflakes have
did see that.
hexagonal shape. Disney, I really hope that you have time to rectify this.
Okay,
and-
also cartoons don't exist and snowmen can't talk.
not in Neil deGrasse Tyson
He
land.
tackled that.
That is
yeah.
always the weird thing. Not to get on the Neil deGrasse, but like when people go, "That's not realistic," you're like this piece of media that is make believe isn't realistic.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
People are here to have fun.
I always
Yeah.
wanted to make a
can't have
fake game reviews channel where I would rate games based on realism.
Ooh, objectivity.
Yeah, but just how does this animal exist in Far Cry 3 on the same island as this animal? 0 out of 10, because none of them make any sense.
Sure.
People always hype up how important realism is, but
Ruins
none
your-
of them are realistic.
Yeah, it's gonna ruin your.
Immersion.
Yeah, you ruined my immersion because I know more than you.
Yeah.
Well, realism is always a weird buzzword anyway. When people apply to things like Call of Duty, where you're twirling around in the air and
Yeah.
carrying 18 guns and just like hockey throwing,
Reloading in a
grenades everywhere.
second.
Yeah, it's
Oh yeah.
awesome.
Realism isn't fun. Immersion is fun. Immersion's good
I love
because
that word.
I mean, you ever
Dare
gone,
you. Arma just called. And they want you to know that realism can be fun.
but
Okay.
even that, I mean, so realism. If you want to do the army simulator thing, you should play the game with a 90-pound backpack on you and then carrying a bunch of heavy things that are cumbersome and dumb, and it's not easy to lay down and fire a gun.
Yeah.
It's hard to walk.
Can't dolphin
Like-
dive with a machine gun and then
Oh,
just
God,
immediately
no.
lay down 18.
God, the pain.
Yeah, circling back to the point, I feel like someone would just say that to Neil deGrasse Tyson, be like, realism is not always fun, sir.
Sure.
Let the children have fun.
Yeah. So in response, Neil posted a follow up on Monday, which is yesterday at the time of recording, on Facebook. Basically a winding non-apology. So for to the point of like, why did you do this? He writes, my intent was to offer objectively true information that might help shape conversations and reactions to preventable ways we die. Where I miscalculated was that I genuinely believed the tweet would be helpful to anyone trying to save lives in America. What I learned from the range of reactions is that for many people, some information, my tweet in particular, can be true but unhelpful, especially at a time when many people are either still in shock or trying to heal or both.
This was written by an AI bot.
It feels like it,
Neil
doesn't
deGrasse
it?
Tyson.
.exe, yeah.
It's and having to a degree still being this kind of person and having been that guy many times in the past, there is that like, why are you booing at me? I'm right, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But there's a read the room kind of element there that's just not present. So yes, there is that moment when somebody is like, how do you not get this? How do you not feel this? What made you think that that was okay?
Yeah.
So yeah, everyone collectively dunked on him. But I think we've done that enough. It's time to celebrate him with Neil deGrasse Tyson's bullshit game of useless trivia.
Ooh.
Da-da-da-da-da. I wanted to get
Okay.
a
I was
song
looking
there.
for a graphic.
No, sorry, I wanted to make
Oh.
it, but I ran out of time.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Too much going on today. There it is.
We'll take that.
Okay,
Can
yeah,
you
close
just
enough.
Photoshop
Good
his
enough.
face on it?
I mean, yeah, if you let it scroll, it is there. Well, maybe not.
We
Neil
won't.
deGrasse
Just
Tyson.
trust us. It's there.
So what I have here is a collection of number-based stats because that's what we're all about. That's what Neil's
Okay.
about. That's what we're about now because it makes us feel better, clearly. And there's 6 rounds, so 2 for each of you. And I encourage you at home to play too. I'm going to ask you a question, and you have to tell me which one's more or longer because we're dealing with like units of time and units of measurement.
Okay.
It's going to open pretty easy. I'm going to start with Lana. Lana, what's more, the number of eyes a bee has or the number of eyelids a camel has? Really, James, you can see this. You can't look.
I won't look. Don't
can't
trust me. I have pride.
I don't know how many eyes bees have.
But you know how many eyelids a camel has?
I believe they have 2, but I have no idea. I'm gonna go with the camel. I'm gonna guess they have 4 eyelids or some shit.
That was close. You're also wrong. Bees have 5 eyes.
What?
And camels have 3 eyelids.
What?
Yes.
Sure.
3 eyelids total?
Yeah, I guess per eye maybe. So maybe
Oh,
6.
so 6.
So I was a little bit right.
One eye just always is like, this is the one that's facing the sand.
So Alana's
They are both
right.
odd numbers. Well, that would mean that a bee
Right-ish.
has 10 eyes,
I
unless
mean,
they have an
They
odd
don't
number
need
of eyes.
eyelids if it's an insect.
Listen, I lifted this off of like the
1, 2,
top-rated
3,
Google
4,
rank.
5
I'm gonna
on
fucking
the
Google
back.
it, all right?
These might all be wrong. Throwing that out there.
That's fine.
I did double check some of these stats, and they were wrong.
What is it? Alligators and crocodiles have 4 eyes? Is that wrong?
4
That's probably right.
eyes?
Don't they have eyes on the tips of their nose? Or maybe that's
What are
I think
these?
that's a lie.
What are these? Hold on.
Okay,
I want
bees
to know
have
what
5
these
eyes.
are. Tips of their what's?
the nose, the snouts.
Snoots.
Do they have eyes on the tips of their snouts? I don't think so.
I think
That's
someone
really
told me-
far from
I think
the
someone told me
brain.
that when I was a kid and I believed it.
I think they have really good noses, maybe, like a shark, and it's basically as good as an eye, but there may be a sensory thing there. I don't think there's an eyeball at the end of an alligator.
You're ruining my imagination.
You're really,
Actually,
Neil's pleased at all of these corrections.
I want to see him pick apart like street sharks and be like, "Hey, what's your problem with these rollerblading?"
well, he would say something about how their upper body would not be able to support.
Yeah.
Their upper torso is
Actual
so
sharks are
large
made of
that the
cartilage,
lower
therefore
body.
they have no bone structure.
Yeah,
meaning
they
they would
would
not be able to stand upright outside of the water.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
I think the camels have
6 total.
6 total.
Got it. So
Okay.
so an eyelid and then a second eyelid and then another eyelid.
Okay,
Yeah.
because of all the sand.
You know, dogs have multiple eyelids too.
All right, Adam.
It's fine. Oh yeah,
You're in the Neil hot seat.
yeah.
You're
Neil.
getting Tysoned.
Kneel me.
What's more, the amount of pounds of skin that you shed in a lifetime, or the average species of bacteria inside your belly button?
Wait. Never mind. It's his question.
I'll say the skin you shed.
Well, you would be wrong.
Okay.
You've yet again disappointed
So
Neil. You shed about 40 pounds of skin in your lifetime.
Jesus.
But there are, on average, 67 different species of bacteria living in your belly button at any moment.
What if I have an Audi?
Probably less. Or more? It's average, so.
What if I kept the umbilical cord and I
That's
use it as a
technically what an Audi
use it as
is,
a
right?
belt?
I just like the only correlation between these is the numbers
Yes.
that Lawrence has chosen.
That's the
Chosen.
satire here.
Yes.
Of entirely
Yes.
unrelated numbers that
Got
have
it.
no,
You
yeah.
don't have to explain the joke. It's okay. We got it.
I feel like I do.
was my fault.
My jokes are too smart, so I have to go to Twitter to explain them.
Thank you.
Arduously.
That makes sense, yeah.
Thank you.
That was good. Those are the best jokes.
All right, James.
Yes.
Neil is winning, by the way, with his superior intellect.
Okay.
He wins
He sent
no
me
matter
all
what.
of these.
Okay.
He said, Lawrence, I respect your intelligence, and I want you to quiz your fellow. I don't know.
He sent him from that spaceship
But he
that he's
hates
on
fun.
in Cosmos.
Yeah.
He wouldn't do that.
Are you having fun? If the answer is no, then Neil
He's
is very
happy. He also wins.
All right, James. What's longer? And what takes more time here?
Okay.
The amount of time it takes your stomach to produce a brand new mucus lining, or the time spent over your entire life sitting at a red light?
Ooh. Wait. I'm going to say the stomach lining.
You'd be wrong. Neil got you
damn.
again. It takes your body on average 2 weeks to produce a brand new mucus lining, whereas
Does it
over
do that
your-
every 2 weeks?
I mean, I think it's just always rotating, but
Okay.
from 2 weeks to 2 weeks, it's a brand new lining completely.
Hmm.
Otherwise, your stomach would digest itself.
Metal.
Whereas the average person spends 6 months waiting at red lights over their entire lifetime.
Embarrassing.
Oh
What a
boy,
waste of time.
Neil's real smug right
How many
now.
spiders do I eat?
I don't
in my
remember what.
sleep?
I still don't believe that one.
Yeah.
It's apparently not
How did they
real.
fucking test that?
Maybe this is in the quiz, but I feel like I have spent a fair amount of my life covered in spider webs, though.
Yeah.
Like you're just walking somewhere, you're like, I am covered in spider webs.
I hate that.
And then you can't get them off, and then ultimately you just give up.
It's the
You're like,
worst.
there's spider webs on me, that's it.
I think Omar is dealing with this too. The spiders are going after my car.
Yeah. Yeah. And the mirrors.
Yeah, always in the mirror.
I don't know why. They're going after mine too.
Like I got a car wash the next day. It was like they were mad at
It's in
me.
it. I think it's in the mirror. I think you got a spider living in the back of the mirror. They go, wash it away. We're gonna come out during the night and get it.
So like I'm okay with spiders. I don't mind them because they kill flies.
Hate them.
So they're
What do you have against flies?
annoying.
Oh, okay.
Flies are idiots.
All right.
Spiders at least hang out in the corners, like they're away.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're
are they?
polite.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Sometimes
They're
you just let them
artists.
hang out in your face.
Because like a spider, you're like fuck off, and it goes, oh shit, okay, it moves. A fly goes, bzz, you go stop it, and the fly goes, oh I'm so sorry, I'm back. Because the fly goes, oh god, what was I doing? You're like, flies are so fucking dumb.
Adam, put that in your stand-up. Make a note of that.
That was really
To
good.
Go into your stand-up. It was
Your
good.
delivery
It
was
good
on
delivery and
point.
good timing of that.
I can't. I
Just mark it down on your fucking notepad that I told you to make for your stand-up.
Adam's stand up.
Sorry, Lawrence.
Are we taking
We're
that on the
drawing
road
with a
or
crayon.
what? I don't
Yes, take it on the road.
All right, round 2. Neil's acing you guys right now, and that I bet that just burns you up. You guys are
Look,
all
I'm
just.
taking my first one as a win.
Oh, you guys are all just mad. No, I mean the doc says you're wrong. So
Shit.
know. When will the jocks get their chance?
He was a
someday.
jock. You see that picture of him when he was young?
Oh yeah,
I
he
did
was
see that.
Was he?
shooting hoop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was pretty jacked.
Damn it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was like a wrestler. I think he was like a college wrestler or something. Why do I know this? God
All right, Alana, what's faster, the speed of air particles shooting out of your nose when you sneeze,
Probably pretty fast.
or the sprint speed of a cheetah?
I'm gonna go with the sneeze.
You're correct.
Wow, nice job.
makes sense. What
Neil's
is the
crying.
cheetah running from or running towards?
Well, my logic is that that's such a thing that happens so quickly that the force of it is gonna be significant.
What
Whereas
if
a
the cheetah
cheetah's a slow
sneezes?
burn.
You have to multiply.
Oh, that's the ultimate speed.
While
You break the
he's
sound
running,
barrier.
Yeah,
pushes
that's
him
what I'm saying.
backwards.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the cheetah hits, what is it, 58 miles an hour and then sneezes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's added. So yeah, you were close actually. Sprint speed of a cheetah is between 65 and 75 miles an hour. However, you sneeze at 100 miles per hour. So that's cool. Cool.
What's that in kilometers?
Huh?
What's that in
100
kilometers?
miles per hour.
It's like 60?
See, no.
Like 120?
Yeah, it's way more.
It's like
higher.
1.6.
way more.
It is higher.
No idea.
It'd be like 160. Whatever. Adam,
Yes. So
Alana's the only one to take a bite out of Neil. You think you can knock him down a peg?
I think he deserves it. Yes.
A life spent giving information and research to the world. All right, what's longer? What took longer?
Yeah.
The world's shortest war
Okay.
or a pig's orgasm?
I know the world's shortest war. I actually know that.
I know the
Was it
length
like
of a pig
was it
orgasm.
the 5-minute war or something like that? Was it?
Yeah,
How long was it?
it was really short.
Yeah.
I almost did Arizona Circle on a sketch about it.
Really? Oh yeah. I'll do the pig orgasm.
Was the question which one is shorter?
What did I say?
I think longer.
Yeah, longer.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
I'm
think-
gonna guess there's some weird thing where pigs come for like 3 weeks.
I think it's like 30 minutes, isn't it?
Do it.
You're right, but also wrong.
Okay.
So again,
Is it a
this
trick
could be
question?
entirely incorrect. A pig orgasm is about 30 minutes long.
Uh-huh.
However, the shortest war, according to the bullshit trivia website that I looked at,
Yeah.
was between Zanzibar and England in 1896,
Yeah.
and Zanzibar surrendered in 38 minutes.
Wow.
So the world's
Okay.
shortest war was longer than the pig
What
orgasm.
was
Did
the
you read
cause of
about
the
that
war?
war?
No. there was a
Oh
link,
man,
I
it's
didn't click
fucking
on it.
amazing.
Yeah?
Yeah. I wanted to make it into a sketch.
I remember-
for Arizona
I remember you talking about
Circle,
this one, yeah.
But basically, a English battleship rolled up to this primitive island of people with spears and shields.
Yeah.
And then they rolled up to this island and they were like, "We challenge you to war." And then they blasted the island. Like if you look at it's like the casualties
Oh, no.
are something like 1,000 Zanzibarians were killed, and one British naval officer was injured because he like stubbed his toe while they were bombarding the beach with artillery.
Wow.
Got a sunburn or something.
It was so fast.
Got another one, white people.
There's also the Australian battle between like 5 dudes with machine guns and hundreds of emu, and the emu won.
Oh yeah.
They did call out the Great Emu War.
Yeah.
Real thing.
That's the best Wikipedia page ever.
So were you right or wrong?
I think I was wrong.
You're
Was the pig-
wrong.
Wrong.
Yeah, I think I said the.
But
So, yeah,
you said the pig was longer.
What do you
which it
think you
isn't.
do for that 30 minutes?
just have a good time.
Wallow.
That's a long time, and I feel like you can't really be productive.
I had a friend.
I mean,
who
that's
was-
productive enough.
He was trying to convince me that God was real, and he said, "Imagine." He's like, "You want to go to heaven?" Because like he's like, "You ever like come? You ever climax? Like, imagine feeling that way all the time. Like, I'd probably want to kill myself." Because like after a while, you'd be like, "Stop it! Please stop!" Like,
Yeah. Also, if that's the new standard, then it's just standard. You get used to
Yeah,
it.
you get
Yeah.
used to it. Isn't also that kind of what like heroin is like?
It's supposed to be.
You're just in like ultimate reverie for hours and
Yeah.
hours.
I think when I'm like 80, I'm gonna just smash some heroin.
Go
You should
hard.
do it.
Yeah.
that's a good out.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
You might not
Cocaine,
die.
heroin.
What if you do and
Yeah,
go?
I'll just try it.
It's not that good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Your body's already
You
burned
probably
out. on it.
won't.
They're like, brandy's better.
Whatever. Try it. Give it a shot.
I'm gonna go full into. I want like a Hemingway sort of retirement
blow
where.
your
I'll
brains
get you a
out.
gun to the head.
Well, until then.
I'm so happy. Boom.
I was watching some documentary about cocktails, and like Hemingway obviously was a pretty big player in it. And there was some anecdote about how he timed out perfectly the consumption of cocktails, that he could go from a bar, carry a drink with him into his car, drive to his house, and just be finishing as he walked in, whereas like assistant would have another one ready for him.
Have you ever been to his house?
No.
It's pretty sweet.
Is it in
Key
Florida?
West.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Who am I thinking? I was thinking of Steinbeck. Sorry, he's up in Salinas. Town's
That's a
ragged.
real place.
What anus?
Salinas.
Anyway.
Yeah. Okay. Last round. Alana's the only one that's been able to take a chunk out of Neil. James, I don't know if you can do it.
Okay.
Okay. What's longer? What's longer? A human blink, like a blink of an eye,
Uh-huh.
or a jiffy, which is an actual measurement of time.
Oh, I didn't know it was.
Jiffy.
Oh, like be back in a
Back
jiff.
in a jiffy.
Oh.
E.
Exactly.
I'm gonna say a jiffy is longer.
Well, Neil is smug as fuck because you are
Are
wrong.
they the same?
I mean,
No, they're not. A blink is 100 to 150 milliseconds, whereas a jiffy is the amount of time it takes light to travel 1 centimeter in a vacuum.
So everyone who ever
that's a
tells you they're going to be
different
back in
jiffy.
jiffy is a fucking
Yeah,
liar.
they're
Jiffy.
they're wrong before they finish talking because it's 33.3 picoseconds, which is 1 trillionth of a second.
How embarrassing.
for us.
This
yes.
is Neil right now.
That would have been him anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Are you having a good time? Let me ruin that. for you.
Yeah.
Even if he felt like we had got all the answers right, he'd be smug because he felt like he taught us something.
Right. Yeah.
There's no winning.
Exactly. this is the brilliance of this stupid game that I
Captain
just
America could not hold on to that helicopter because the bicep cannot withstand that. He's a superhero.
Can the Rock
God, I
hold
love
onto
that shot.
a helicopter? Yeah, there's some good stuff. They
So
should
good.
have
So good.
held on to that one a little longer in Hobbs shot. Just saying. I could have dealt with a couple more
We
seconds
haven't
of
seen
that.
it yet.
The chain.
Sorry.
Where he's got the chain.
Yeah, he's like holding onto the tow truck.
I've
and
seen the
stuff.
trailers. I think I've seen
Yeah,
the
the
movie.
only thing is, I've only seen a screenshot of that. And I feel like the Chris Evans extension is better. The Rock
You're
is like
absolutely right.
this.
Yeah, his
You're
arm's pretty
absolutely
far out.
But you need to see the full Atlas.
and then when he's like
shape.
he swaps his grip.
Yeah,
Yeah. There's also emotional weight to it because.
I don't care about any of that.
Yeah, shut
What do
up.
you mean? It's Bucky. His
Don't
friend.
care about any of that.
He thought he felt like how. So they figured out. So Captain America went in the ice, but then Bucky like fell in an ice hole, and they both got frozen.
I don't question it.
It's also weird that it's only those two.
Why
You
don't
would
they
think-
just use time travel to fix everything from now on?
Yeah.
How are there even more
I
movies?
thought Feige like addressed that. Well, I mean, I guess the Infinity Stones are gone, which also should have destroyed reality.
They
based
should
on
be in
whatever.
different
No,
timelines.
the Infinity Stones
Oh.
aren't gone. They're just back in their original timelines.
Some of them.
But
are.
if you ever have an issue again, just go back and take the stones again.
I think didn't they run out of the bullshit they needed to go to the past as well?
No, because
Oh,
they
Pym
only
particles?
were running out of it because Hank Pym was taken, and he's the one who makes them.
he secretes them out of his anal glands.
Well, you would think that
out.
Hank Pym, the first thing he would do, would be show Paul Rudd or his
Yeah.
family or anyone
Right.
how to make those particles
Well,
because he's pushing 80.
Or you go back in time once to Hank Pym and go, "Hey, we're doing this time travel thing right now. Can you make more of these? I need a bunch of particles because I can take stuff with me." But then they're like, "We only have enough." I get it. Makes the movie better.
Yeah.
Makes it more fun.
You guys are being real.
Don't Neil
Tysons
deGrasse
right
Yeah, I don't want to Tyson this up.
Why does his voice still sound like an old man's voice when he looks young and has long hair? I don't get
Because
it.
computers are awesome.
But one thing you can get is find savings when you buy those Infinity War tickets for the 8th time with the browser add-on Honey, who is sponsoring this podcast.
Woo!
Yeah. Honey is a browser add-on, basically, that every time you check out, there's always that little box, that little promo code box, and you always think about all the delicious savings you could probably get if only you had a secret code to put in that box. You never have that code. You got to pay full price like a schmuck. Honey is a service that will actually scour codes for you. It's both community submitted and Honey curated, so they make sure that they can match codes that will actually work or that are active or match whatever you're buying and get you some free money. That's what Honey's all about. Honey also tested over 1 billion promo codes last year, 1 billion, and it applied 185 million working codes to people's orders. That's a lot of real life savings for you. Not to mention, over 10 million people are already saving money with Honey, and it has over 100,000 5-star reviews on the Google Chrome store. It's free to use and easy to install on your computer in just 2 clicks. So never think about that promo box again. Let Honey fill it for you at joinhoney.com/dude. Once more, that's joinhoney.com/dude to get all that invisible money, all that time traveling money. It's trapped in the quantum realm. You got to yank it back with Honey. Once more, that's joinhoney.com/dude to get your free money today. If there's one thing I've learned, it's when an ad says it's free money that you should get it, because that is very true all the time. All right, moving on. I kind of an extension of our opening topic. I want to talk a bit about like bad takes, because I've had a few. Just like what's something that you said that you were like, or something that you later revisit and you're like, okay, I get why that didn't go over so well, even though I was kind of ignorant at the time. This is a bit of a stretch, but personally, I think because of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Stephanie put on Rosemary's Baby over the weekend. I watched it like 4 years ago, and I wasn't super into it. Pedophilia notwithstanding. It was like that little disclaimer.
He wasn't a known pedo at the time.
That makes it okay, I'm
He's
sure.
an up and coming pedo.
Yeah.
Hot pedo.
Soon to be.
Yeah. Okay, so he didn't pedo himself until later?
It was after Sharon Tate died.
I mean, I think the only reported incident is that.
Reported, though.
Yeah, well, yeah.
That's the
what I
other
said,
thing.
reported, yeah.
Yeah.
But I watched it again, and I was actually super into it. I thought there was a lot of like subtlety to it.
It's a good movie.
When I first watched it, I was like, this is boring and dumb. I guess I came into it with some preconceptions because it was from a time when horror was very odd. It's like it was meant to be very slow and off-putting. Like the original Friday the 13th is very strange by today's standards, I'd say.
Weird movie.
Yeah, very, very weird. But
Rosemary's Baby is more of an artsy, but like mainstream artsy flick.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, but I feel like I would really like it.
it's really good. I guess what kind of led to it is also I watched Gaslight for the first time. There's a ton of that in Rosemary's Baby about basically her being like, hey, these things are wrong, and then a bunch of dudes being like, no, you're stupid. Also, don't talk to anybody. So it's a great movie.
How did you guys feel about Mother?
I haven't seen it yet.
You mean Mother?
Yes.
Yeah.
But you have to start with a slow M.
I
Mother.
liked it.
Fair. Yeah, that's the correct
I
response.
guess. I don't know.
I'm the idiot who saw the movie and went, I don't know what I just watched. And then I read one thing online that said,
Oh.
it's an adaptation of the Bible. And I went,
Yeah.
oh my God.
Well, it's
like,
Does that make it
changed,
better?
It changed my
No.
perspective on it.
It's-
Because watching the whole movie, I'm like, there's like not knowing what it was. I wouldn't just blank other than I was like, it's an Aronofsky film. But I don't know. I like what he tried to do. I like that he has sort of like a weird like Japanese philosophy of like or religion. It's almost like it's sci-fi.
Yeah.
No, like I dig that. That's what he did with Noah,
Yeah.
and then he did it with Mother, and I was like, okay, cool.
A little bit with Black Swan too.
Really?
Yeah, well, it's just
there?
it's more fantasy, but it has just elements of that.
Do you know Black Swan and The Wrestler were supposed to be the same movie? Because it's the same story.
Just like intercutting between the two?
Basically, because it's like
Yeah.
he wanted to make a movie that showed what is considered high art and what you have to do to achieve that kind of thing, and then something that's considered low art, like wrestling, but that the commitments and the sacrifices are almost identical. So maybe we shouldn't judge them so harshly. But then it became too much. So then he was like, "I'll just do one and the other." But if you watch them,
Must
they're
be
like
nice.
basically
The same
the
thing.
same, like in terms of what they're trying to tell you. Like appreciate this, by God.
Well, I feel like every movie he makes is about how hard his life is. I feel like everyone is being a writer is hard. Like I think they're
I don't-
all that.
There's like the thing with the Coen brothers where they're like, it's like, yeah, we had writer's block when making Miller's Crossing, so we made
Barton Fink.
yeah, we made Barton Fink instead. It's like, oh, how hard that it's so hard to come up with a really good idea that you just made something else while you waited.
Well, I mean,
Cool.
I will say, like, at least for Barton Fink, there is commentary in the movie making fun of that character. So it
No,
wasn't.
I get it.
Yeah.
I'm like, to be so gifted must be nice
Well, I think they're just saying the faucet never turns off.
for those guys.
You
now.
just need to understand. I don't think it turns off for anyone. You just
Oh,
need to
sure.
understand where the water's coming out. And I think that's the point they were trying to
The
make.
Coen brothers apparently would do so much work on their own films. They have to make up names in the credits for stuff that they did.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So like a lot of times it'll be like made by done, edited by this editor. Edited wasn't real.
Wow.
Because they edit their own movies.
Isn't that like a guild problem? If you
Maybe.
start making up roles, whatever.
I don't
guess
know.
They can do whatever they want.
The guild rules are weird too because they're like
I don't know anything about them.
they're like there can be one director on a film unless you're the Russo brothers or the Duffer brothers or some other sort of brother. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
That's weird.
But I don't mean to like yank it back here, but
Oh,
just
yes, sir.
kind of keeping with that tone. You mentioned that like people are waking up to Speed Racer again. This is like a weird 1 year cycle. It seems like there's like the planets align and everyone goes to Twitter to remind everyone that Speed Racer was actually amazing. But at the
Yes.
time, everyone dismissed it as like a garbage trash movie, which is a shame, a real
Yeah.
shame, because I think it altered the trajectory of the Wachowskis' careers pretty significantly. Along that note, and I think also very identically, Pacific Rim is a pretty divisive movie. When I first saw it, I didn't get it and didn't really like it.
Man.
But then I let it sit for a week and I thought about it. I was like, oh wait, that's just live action Evangelion. And then like all the stuff that didn't make sense when I think about it is just live action anime. So I'm like, oh, well, what? I'll go watch it again. And then everything clicked. It's just coming at it from a different angle. But yeah, if I were to go to write to Twitter, be like, oh, Pacific Rim, garbage trash. Like, so yeah, it's kind of interesting how time can sort of change your perspective on things.
The first time I watched the Darjeeling Limited, like I'm a big Wes Anderson fan. I like basically love all of his movies. But the first time I watched it, I was like, well, I guess they're not all for me. Wasn't crazy about it. And then I went back and rewatched it, and I was like, I love this movie. This may be one of the best. Just it's like it's a different pace. Like we were talking about it earlier, but sometimes the intention of a movie isn't revealed until the end. And so everything up to that point has been a puzzle that you're trying to put together, and movies just keep going. You can't stop and go, let me think about that scene and what it could mean compared to the scene before it, because you should just let the movie keep rolling. But then it's not until it's over that you're like, oh, I guess the point they were trying to make was this. And then when you know that and you start it again, now you at least you at least know where some of the pieces are going to go. And when you see them falling into place, you're like, it's building. Oh, which is what you're talking about with Rosemary's Baby. It's like, I understand the intention. When I
Yeah.
watched it, it just felt like a really slow dialogue sequence. But now, knowing where it builds to, or knowing the impact of this film, there's a purpose for this scene. It's not just people talking to kill time, you know?
I made a tasteless joke. Didn't mean to during I think it was the Charlottesville thing, because all I heard, I was like barely listening to the news, and there was a thing. I just saw Nazis are congregating on this thing. I was like, how dumb. But then I heard it was like getting out of hand, and then I was like, it was around the time I think Wolfenstein was coming out. And so I made some tasteless joke that was like, I think the marketing for this game's getting out of hand. And it was right when that woman
This is
died.
on social media. You made it.
Yeah, I made the joke, not really following it, and then a lot of people were like, "Dude, what the fuck? Someone died." And I was like, "Oh, I had no idea. Like, I wasn't following." Then that was when I sort of like, I should just not make commentaries on these. Like, hey Neil, if you're listening, take a page out of my book. Just if you don't have anything, I'll also just try to get off social media.
Well,
My opinion on world events doesn't fucking matter. Basically, is what I learned. So it's like, even if it's a joke or not. So it was like, I think pretty much after that, I was like, number one, should be more informed. Number two, shouldn't be making tasteless jokes like that. So Disney, if you find that, I'm sorry.
they did.
It's kind of
I know.
sidetrack your
That's
presidential
the
run.
one. That's the one that's
Can't go to Star Wars Land anymore.
James Gunn still works for Disney.
And DC. Must be nice.
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough. I definitely think the leaning in, if you ever are doing something where it feels like an anime character, it's that wide shot or two characters are having a conversation in the front, and then from the background, another character who has glasses on, but the glasses are just spirals, like leans in and does this. If you ever feel like what you're about to say applies to that, or could be the follow-up to this,
Yeah.
maybe run it through one more time, run it through the old censor machine one more
Developing
time.
that filter is imperative, and it
Social
took me a
media is
long
just
time.
such a fascinating game. Like there are so many people who, I think feel like they have to have an opinion on every topic because that's how they stay relevant. That it's just like watching people play that game is crazy. Like, you don't care about this, you just wanted to say something.
It's the illusion of being well-read or well-informed, is that you have something to say about everything. And a lot of the time, since people that are in that cycle don't actually have time to read up on stuff, they just absorb opinions that seem right and then spout them back as their own. It's a little aggravating, but I get it because it kind of comes from a place of sort of lack of self-esteem.
Yeah, but I think
you have to
it's-
project a certain image.
Social media is breeding you to do that too. I think
Yeah.
that the intention of those websites is to make you feel like you have to have an input on everything, so you constantly get feedback. I think it's like they're being trained to do that as well. It's just a fascinating thing to watch. It's crazy. People say shit they don't even believe in. Wild.
Yeah, I think one of the hardest things. This is complete theory, but I think one of the hardest things a human being can say is, "I had no idea." You never see anyone go, "Wow, I had no idea." Like even in conversations, like people always want to be adding to conversations. No one wants to stop a conversation and admit they had no idea what
guys
you just
seen
said was a piece of valuable.
Aziz Ansari's latest stand-up.
No, not
There's this
yet.
part that I
just saw the
can't
pizza
stop
thing.
thinking about. It is the pizza
Yeah.
thing. So he's like, have you guys heard about this pizza thing where there was a SWAT sticker on the pizza? Like, it was this huge controversy on Twitter. Like, New York Times posted about it, and like some people think it was intentionally put as a SWAT sticker, and other people don't. He was like,
SWAT,
who thinks
like SWAT team?
a SWAT sticker?
Swastika.
Oh, swastika. Sorry.
So he was like, who put your hand up if you think that they intentionally made it a Nazi symbol? And then people put their hand up, and then you're like, and you didn't, and people put their hand up, and then to one guy, he was like, where did you see? You see it on the New York Times? He was like, yeah, I did. And like apparently that was photoshopped, and then it turns out the whole thing wasn't true. It never existed. But everyone in the crowd, every single show, always put their hand up and had an opinion, even though the whole fucking thing didn't exist. And I was
yeah.
why would you do that? It's crazy the things people will do just to feel like they have something to say.
Well, the fear of being the only one there who's uninformed is much more terrifying than.
But I was thinking, like, if I were on a date with someone and they put their hand up and then it was revealed that it wasn't true, I'd be like, what the fuck was that? Like, I'd be so confused by it that I'd be like, why would you do that? It's such a weird thing to do. But he said every single show, like hundreds and hundreds of people participate.
Yeah.
It's great.
If
insane.
if everything's real, nothing is. I don't know.
I don't know.
It is a. We've talked about this before. It's a much deeper conversation, but you can find your own leanings and find a group that will back those up. So if you're looking for any sort of club, it exists online.
Yeah.
I mean, some websites you can't go to right now because their hosting has been suspended.
Yeah, they're DDoS protection.
Is
Yeah.
8chan still down?
Yes. Or rather, so it's confusing because the hosting didn't go down. Their Cloudflare withdrew the protection, opening up to DDoS attacks. And I think because of that, they were like, oh, we don't want to deal with this. And I think they shut it down for now.
I only know about that because.
But then they got an offer from another one, and then that company got attacked. So
Okay.
it's the same one that does like the DDoS protection for Breitbart and stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah. I just the Daily does a good like podcast where it's like they cover these things and it's sort of like for laymen, and I was like, oh yeah, 8chan.
Yeah, they're still there, or trying to still be there.
The story about I recommend go check out the podcast, but it's like I mean there's probably more people listen to that one than ours, but
If they could shout us
Tiny
out.
little podcast.
Yeah, hey,
that'd be
Please
way better.
listen.
hey Michael Barbaro, if you could just I have no idea what you look like, but I know what you
Had
sound
to
like.
guess. What would it be? You know what? I don't know.
I don't want to know.
I have no idea.
If it's just an AI in a bottle, I'd be okay with that.
It took me a long time to get to the point where, because kind of like what you guys were saying, it was a behavior pattern that took me a long time to recognize. Is that if I didn't know something, I could never admit to it. So I would just hard stance on everything, and then if somebody called me out on it, I'd retreat further into that stance. Because how dare they? And also, I'm committed to the lie at this point. I'm projecting to be this kind of persona, and to me, the ultimate weakness is to change your mind or to admit that you don't know something. So it was a horrible feeling of like doing it, but also having this voice in the back of my mind being like, why are you doing this? Just shut up. Just stop. Just say, okay, I'm sorry. I don't know what I'm talking about. It took a long time to actually get to the point where I could be comfortable enough with myself to, one, not offer unsolicited information, because that is a weird thing. It's just, I always thought that's how you contribute, is just by chucking as much information at the wall as you
Call
can.
that info dumping.
Yes, and thinking that was my value to people. But then also, if I didn't know something, to not try and pretend to be the smart guy by assuming. Because man, if you say anything confidently enough, people will think you know what you're talking about.
We had someone in our office at one point who was never a part of the staff or anything, but they were a visitor. I remember James and I were having a conversation about Miles Morales, and we're just having our own conversation. And we're like, oh yeah, Miles Morales, blah, blah, blah. And then this person kept butting in of what their race and heritage was. And we're just kind of
I
like,
don't remember this.
I do.
Oh,
And he kept using the term.
Okay.
It wasn't a great term that he was using.
What was it?
Well, it's 'cause he's-
next to something.
Blaxican or something.
Blaxican.
And he kept shouting it in the room. And he goes, he's Blaxican. And we're like, and both
okay.
James are like, thanks, bud.
Yeah.
Like, don't be that guy.
Oh yeah.
That
yeah.
is a
I know who
funny
you're talking
social
about. Yeah.
social thing that
'Cause-
some people just yell their input into a conversation
Mm-hmm.
to give you information that you didn't ask for. But
Right.
I don't know. I just have a lot of sympathy for people who are socially awkward. I'll be like,
Same.
you're not trying to do that.
It's everybody.
But I've been
It's
in
also true.
How do you like? How
We're
do
all
you
weird.
message? Because ideally, you do it through social cues. You hopefully you project through your facial expressions and your body language that was maybe not the right time or the right way to say those things. But sometimes those messages don't get picked up by people.
Yeah.
Because I think about to myself, I wish I could have gotten snapped out of my dumb stuff earlier. And to a degree, there's probably
It's
things
so
I
hard to
don't know
tell
about.
people when they're being inappropriate.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like you've been like, you ever like wait in line for a movie and you guys are talking about something and then someone behind you goes, actually, and it's like, dude, fuck off. No one asked you. And sometimes it's more fun to have the conversation and not have someone pull up their phone and go, the answer is this. It's like, sometimes the answer is not the interesting part of the conversation. Sometimes it's the journey that you took to get there. and then at the end of the movie, you go, oh, it was this guy. Okay.
Yeah.
I have done that sometimes. So like, usually if I'm waiting in line to see theater, weirdly enough, I'll start a conversation with someone. But I've made friends that way. I made friends in New York when I went to see Sleep No More, because we had to wait in that line for 45 minutes and they were talking about what play it is. And I was like, it's Macbeth. And they were like, what's the story of Macbeth? And then we were just talking about Macbeth. And just
Sure.
like, you can do it sometimes, but I don't know. I think someone yelling information at you is like, but we were trying to figure it out. I don't know.
I think if you see two people or a group of people already talking about something and you have to do the thing where you laugh to get into the circle, maybe don't be that person.
It's like leading with your elbow.
Right,
Anyway,
guys? And they stare at you.
I'm here now.
Yeah. Social keys are tough.
Humans
Yes.
naturally form circles so that we can keep it out
We'll
and
see.
keep a lookout on everyone's backs.
I always get in the middle.
Yeah.
Same.
I spin myself.
Yeah, because it's about you.
Yeah. I want as many eyes on my
smart.
back as possible.
Yeah,
That makes you like just prey. You're a bad predator if that's the case. You just
Apex
get right in the
predator.
middle of the fucking
Yeah,
circle.
thank you, Lawrence.
Apex
I want
prey.
that on a shirt. My face. And it says Apex Prey.
Come and get me.
No, Apex Prey.
oops,
yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
Well, if you're losing sleep, staring at the ceiling with bloodshot eyes, thinking about all the social faux pas you committed, perhaps you could use the app Calm. Calm is an app, and Adam, I think you've used it a bit.
I have it. Yeah,
Yeah,
on here.
it's an app that provides a variety of services to help you go to sleep. And that's a pretty widespread problem. Calm says that 1 in 3 U.S. adults doesn't get enough sleep. And if you aren't sleeping enough, it can affect your cognitive functions during the day, like learning, problem solving, and decision making. Like deciding maybe not to opt into that stranger's conversation talking about Miles Morales. Sleep deficiency also does serious damage, not just to your brain, but to your body as well. The sleepless are more prone to accidents, weight gain, and depression. Adam.
I'm sorry.
With Calm, you'll discover a whole library of programs designed to help you get the sleep your brain and your body needs, like soundscapes. Just want to hang on that word for a second. And over 100 sleep stories narrated by soothing voices like Jerome Flynn from Game of Thrones and Stephen Fry. Right now, our listeners can get 25% off a Calm premium subscription at calm.com/dude, which is the best URL to say out loud. That's calm.com/dude for 25% off. 40 million people have downloaded Calm. Find out why at calm.com/dude. Thank you, Calm, for helping Adam get the sleep he needs so desperately.
Man, everyone's
that
on this
going?
thing.
Calm?
Calm's great.
Yeah.
It's good.
Does it have like waves crashing and
Depends.
rain pitter patters?
Yeah, like the menu is like mine's like a meadow. It's really it's kind of nice. You can just open it. But yeah, the narrated stories, it's good. Sleep's good. Obviously. The hardest thing I've been trying to figure out is like how to just let your brain drift.
Yes.
That's the hardest thing, to just shut off.
To not control it. Yeah.
I have been told I have a guilty and a worrying mindset. I
Have
am
you been told by everyone at this table?
a professional.
Oh, right.
Not that you're not all professionals.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, really weird.
It's something I've struggled to empathize with because Stephanie has a variety of anxiety issues, and to a degree, at certain points in my life, my brain was in the mode where it would instantly latch on to negative thoughts and dwell on them and really simmer in them.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know I wish I could understand maybe more fully what that's like when it prevents you from sleeping.
The mindset I would go through. We're not doing the ad read anymore, right?
No,
Okay,
we're
fine.
fully out of
Yeah. It would be like, so an example. I'll before I go to bed, I go, did I lock the front door? And I check the front door, and I go, okay, front door's locked. And then I go, why did I check the front door? Is my neighborhood not safe? Maybe I don't live in a safe neighborhood. What if they had a gun? Well, I'll have to grab a knife. Well, I don't have a gun. Should I get a gun? I should probably get a gun.
That
And
sounds
it's
like anxiety.
that's what happens.
You're just
the
rolling
snowball.
on you skip. What do they call it? Catastrophizing is when you like go from a small incident and then you imagine negative consequences that snowball into a very, very, very negative consequence, and then dwell on that. Yeah.
Hard to do, but I used to practice stand-up that way.
Huh.
Interesting.
I would see how I could get from topics. It'd be comedic. It's basically the same thing, but it
Yeah.
would be through comedy. Like can I tell a story lying there with my eyes closed in my head to an audience that's laughing always, but like that's funny. And then where do I drift that to? Because that's what good stand-up is generally drifting, unless you're Mitch Hedberg, is drifting from one thing to the next thing to the next thing, and how it feels seamless. So like, here's a story about me when I was in high school, and then I go, that reminds me of this thing, and then I go, how can I lead that and whatever, and I would practice stand-up by trying to drift comedically through stories. Different, I'm sure different impulses in the brain. It's the same process, but
I do something very thematically similar. I imagine huge action set pieces in my head and then think about how to link them.
oh, nice.
So it's like, how do you get from the inside of an office building onto a helicopter?
Jump.
Well, yeah, but there's various cool
That's
ways to
too
do that.
exciting. That'd keep me
Somebody
awake.
can like football tackle somebody through a window, and then it's like there's just imagining like all the glass shards around, and then okay, how do they get on that? Do they fall into it? Do they grab onto the rudders or something like that? Yeah,
But I would say that process is probably what lots of brains do. I don't think I'm like time for sleep and like go
Powering
down.
down.
The brain is still active, but I think it's maybe we enjoy that process
I think it's
more.
creativity. It's
Yeah.
getting into abstract thought where your brain can just sort of wander and find new ideas without latching onto concrete negative ones that imply action.
Oh, no,
that
I-
always makes my heart rate jump.
I've never really thought about it, but I think that my falling asleep action is always either replay something or picture something, picture a conversation that I want to have. So I just build scenes and then go over them over and over again. And I fall asleep okay,
Yeah.
but I'm also always tired. So.
I know the feeling. This is the other problem too. Is like just being self-aware is sort of the problem when I go like I'll have that drift moment and I know my mind will start going somewhere and it's like you know when you have those thoughts but you can't remember them. It's just you're just going somewhere. That's like what your brain is doing when you're shutting down, your frontal lobes shutting down or whatever. And the problem is when I go, I'm falling asleep. You stupid brain.
I
Yeah, you
twitch
get
really
really
bad.
excited, like
Yeah.
I'm about to fall asleep, and
Yeah,
then it's
yeah, exactly.
gone.
You're like,
Yeah, that does suck.
all the things I'm going to dream about. Fuck. Yeah, that's.
I never understood how people get addicted to painkillers because every time that I've ever had to take painkillers and then try to sleep, I feel like I'm not breathing. I panic because I'm like, I'm not breathing. Why is my body not breathing? Every time. I just can't. I'll be like, I guess I'm staying awake because otherwise I'm going to suffocate myself.
Yeah, I know. I've done similar things where I'll sit there and go, "Am I breathing? Oh, good, I'm breathing. I shouldn't
then you
stop
just feel
breathing."
yourself
And then,
breathing.
then I'm going, breathe in. Breathe
Yeah.
out. And it's like the body will do that anyway. It doesn't matter. You could be knocked out. Your body will go.
Now
You should
I'm
breathe
fucking
back now.
thinking about it. Thinking about breathing
Yeah.
sucks.
Everyone is now thinking exactly
Ah,
about their breathing.
shit.
But
You just go for a run.
But you can get into your super headspace, and then you can control your breathing and make it an effective, conscious thing.
true.
And that is also something that's supposed to revert you back into a relaxation.
Yeah.
James will have Apex Prey. I'm gonna have Superhead
Nice.
on t-shirts.
I did a yoga class over the weekend with Jess, and
What is
part
that
of it was
expression, Alana?
was
like
meditating.
that.
What problem do you have with
Yeah.
Superhead?
I don't like that.
Sorry.
No, it was fun. It was old woman yoga, so it was like I was probably the youngest person by about 45 years. It was like
Man, you must have been a treat.
it was
Those
like
old ladies
Wait,
getting
you said Jess was there, right?
Yeah.
that was the joke.
Jess,
No.
his 80-year-old wife.
My ish looks great. No, but it was like Jess and I had a bunch of old people. But it was the lady was super nice, but she was like I remember one of the things she's like, this move will help your eliminations. I'm like, oh, your shit.
yeah.
Like,
Hey, what a good segue. So I used to do a segment called Bruce Reads, but Bruce is on vacation now, or sorry, sabbatical. But I did find something amazing to read. Speaking of eliminations and being a fan thereof, Omar, I guess is it appropriate to roll the bumper? I feel like it is.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's just all remember Bruce for a second.
he was here yesterday.
Join us by the fire for a nice story. All right, if you could put the gentleman on screen here. We're about to make fast friends with a new member of the Funhaus family, Mr. Brown the Bear. There he is.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
He's got a
scat.
scatless.
Oh.
So, Mr. Brown the Bear is a wonderful fellow. He is he's a professor at a university.
Okay,
And here's a brief synopsis of him and his
What's
life.
that on his pocket? Looks like half of a pizza sphere.
Yeah, he's got half a pizza sphere.
Go look, scroll up to his eyes. He looks like he's all about business, but
Yeah.
he's okay to have a good time.
Well, at
he's
the
cute,
office, yeah.
But
Yeah.
He's a
At
cute
the
little bear. He's
office,
got a short tie.
definitely-
You think he takes his work home with him?
I don't think he can avoid it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean sometimes, but he doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't change him.
okay, this is called Mr. Brown the Bear by Oh God Why, which is what.
Yeah, that's
Did you
been
edit that out?
replaced.
Okay.
I found the image in situ and it had that already. So there's a fine content creator out there that is responsible for Mr. Brown the Bear. And
I don't
we
even know what
salute you.
situ is.
It starts with a quote. You know what? What's the best part about farts? Dumps. Indeed, farts and scat make an excellent combo. Attributed to Mr. Brown the Bear. Okay.
He said that.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Mr. Brown the Bear is a moderator of the Few Crew. He is a scatologist, for he loves to study feces. Plus, he is a professor that teaches Scatology 101 at the Thomas Crapper University. When he was once a bear cub, he went potty training every day. When he made his first boom boom, he glanced at it. Furthermore, he sniffed his own boom boom. His father was once a scatologist himself and taught him a few things about scat. Mr. Brown is intelligent, knowledgeable, and has an IQ of 500.
That's high.
He was given praise by the Thomas Crapper University teachers and staff, for he is considered the best scatology teacher in history. Not only is he into feces, he is also into farts too. In fact, the best part about feces is when people fart while crapping. As Mr. Brown states it, farts and scat is the best combo to turn a person on. Also, Mr. Brown is best friends with the principal and longtime pal, Heavy Duty the Rhino. Back at home, while he was grading homework, he checked his email via internet.
That's how you do that.
Why is that the part that broke me? There, he found one standing out of the other emails, which is Few Crew invitation. After reading about the Few Crew, he became satisfied. Of course, he did join for the farts, but also for the scat, because secretly, he loves listening to the sound of toilet farts and plops.
Who doesn't?
Trivia. The book he's carrying is a portmanteau of the words scat and atlas.
Yep, we got that immediately.
I tried to read it like a teacher.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, no, that's
was
very
really
educational.
good.
Yeah. So he's just one of many characters in this,
So wait,
this world.
he teaches scat,
Scatology.
Scatology.
but he's also turned on by it.
Yes.
So is he teaching people how to be turned on by it? What does that class look like?
It's not a criminal to enjoy your work.
I would.
I didn't say it was bad, but what is the class of what is that?
I mean, isn't I correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't like, I guess scat is kind of all poop, right? It's not necessarily sexualized poop.
No, I think it's fetish.
Is
Yeah, this
Because
is
like
one-
there's scat humor,
Let's just-
which is poop jokes.
There's also
That's
the scat
true.
man.
There's a scat man
There's the
Carruthers.
verb
rest in peace.
scat. which
And is it only
just
poop
no
or
way.
does
What?
urine
Scat
count too?
usually means
I think it's poop.
Improvised
Yeah.
jazz singing?
yeah.
I think
That's what this is.
is
Ah, here
scat
we-
pee as
So
well.
here's the fun question.
Yep.
Yeah, that's how it's
right.
right.
Yeah.
Say.
Learn to pronounce. I would
So
love
like,
to.
do you
Scat.
subscribe to like multiverse theory that like there are parallel universes of where worlds went a different way?
I wouldn't
Boy, I
say
wanna know where this is
subscribe
going.
to it, but sure.
If-
I don't care.
I just like to think that if you think that there's a world out there similar to ours where this is the Mickey Mouse of that world,
Yeah, if there are
where
infinite
everyone's like,
universes.
he just loves shit,
Here,
and we love shit.
the only issue I take with the whole thing, and it's minor,
yeah.
but he came from a long line of scatologists, and sometimes to me that diminishes
There's some
one's
nepotism
passion
involved.
for the craft.
Right.
It's like
He was born
what
into it.
else was he gonna do?
Yeah.
Right? That if his father was
gonna
the
do
furthest thing from a
the do-do.
scatologist, but he saw poop and he said, "This is my life," then I'd be like, "That's someone who has a passion for that." But this is just like a 10th generation farmer. I'm sure you love it. I'm
Yeah.
sure you love doing what
but
you
have
do.
you tried anything else?
But it's kind of all you've known, right?
It's like when Ethan Hawke and Uma Thurman have a kid, and she shows up on Stranger Things, and you're supposed to act surprised. You're well, of course, because you rolled to the casting audition, and they said, "Sure," because you're an actor.
Exactly the same.
What?
Yeah, exactly the same.
She comes from a line of actors, so she's going to be an actor. He comes from a line of
Oh.
scatologists.
Identical.
Okay,
But he's
got it.
considered the world's
Sorry,
best.
Jess messaged me before this podcast and said, "Did you know that girl from Stranger Things is Uma Thurman's kid?"
I didn't know that. I
Yeah,
didn't know
the-
that.
the
But the
girl-
way you said it, I thought Uma Thurman
So
was
did
in
I.
Stranger
Yeah.
Things.
I thought
No,
that was
no,
a spoiler.
You got it.
It's
I got it.
Maya Hawke
That's
Yeah,
a really cool name.
I said the
a cool
exact
name.
same thing.
She's pretty
Damn.
cool in the show too.
I actually like her.
She's
in the
also
show.
in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It's a good week for her.
Who was she in Once Upon? Was she
Probably one of the cult,
Yeah.
Okay,
cult
that makes sense.
people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, great movie.
Again, though, what do you think that class is? What does he teach? What do you have to teach people about
Oh,
scat?
there's so
Everything.
much.
Like,
There's a
what
whole
could-
book
what-
about it.
It's
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
like what can you look at a poop and go, what can you do with this? It's the same as geology or whatever.
Yeah.
You look at a rock and
Except-
you go, well, but there's so much here. Let me
Except
tell you.
because he on the first day he goes, "What can you do with it?" But think of this question: what can you not do with it?
That's fair.
Yeah,
Eat it.
you can do that.
Yeah.
You can. You should.
Just make you
Right.
sick, right?
Can and shouldn't are two very. Just take the class.
Sorry, I apologize.
Yeah.
What's his name's Mr. Brown? I don't know. This just seems like he's set up to the. I'd love to sit him down
I see your
somewhere
point.
other than a toilet and like go like, is this really your thing, or is this like that one time I told my friends I liked the movie Last Samurai and they bought me like 5 copies on DVD, and I'm
Right.
like, I mean, I liked.
I liked it. Yeah.
Enjoyed it for what
It's-
You've made this my thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe he's the best teacher in the world because he's a good teacher, not because he loves scat that much.
Interesting. Are you suggesting that perhaps his talents are wasted on scatology?
Potentially, he could teach anything.
But he doesn't have a passion for everything.
I would argue a teacher's passion is the greatest teaching tool.
I don't think we should poo-poo this man's love of his work.
Boom, boom. You mean?
Nice
Sorry.
job.
A real scat can do.
What do you think is in a
Attitude.
scatlas? An atlas is
Of
a
all scat.
chronology of the world, and
It's just a bunch of
Locations?
photos of different types of poop.
Yeah? With it's
yeah,
a book
but I
of
feel like
master
that would
charts.
be master charts.
Sorry. It's a book of maps or charts.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess
So how would you apply that to poop?
Different kinds. I think you'd be like, this is slightly greenish, which means these fibers were in it, or
I
whatever.
think scatatomy would maybe
Make
be
more
a
sense.
more appropriate
it does seem
term.
like they traded
Maps of
away
it could be about how different countries use toilets.
That's
Yes,
true.
but that's even cultural.
he does seem
That's
to
a cultural thing.
well, his description
I guess
is
it'd just
not
be
Atlas.
different types. I guess and maybe he lives in some sort of animal world, so it'd be like a whole area in rabbit shit, and where those rabbits live, because they live in
Maps, though.
they live
Atlases
in
are books of maps.
Yeah, that's biology. Books of maps.
well, let's see here. Yeah.
And charts,
Like, I mean,
right.
He did say the best part about feces is when people fart while crapping.
Yeah.
But I imagine the sensation has to be different if it's in like a North American toilet
that's
or
a-
like
that's a
squad in
personal
China.
bias that
okay,
he has.
I got it. Yeah. So you're saying that it's a book that just tells you the best places to
Yeah,
shit
for-
and
Well,
origin.
maybe the
I don't know
different
that it passes
sensations you'll
judgment.
get
It'd be like
based on where you go.
scat git or something.
Well, like you unfold it, and then it's like a big red X over some place in Indonesia that's got one of those
Right.
like things
the
that
long
you squat
trays,
over
yeah.
or whatever.
I like going to the toilet in Japan. I'll be honest.
Oh man, me too. What a treat.
Yeah.
I wish we had toilets like that everywhere.
Their public toilets have little sound buttons if you don't want to hear anything.
Oh well, that I don't
Like,
care. I just
plays
want the hole in the
birds
ground.
chirping.
Also, Australia has like really awesome public toilets too.
Yeah, you don't have to touch anything.
I know it's great, and they're like future pods that lock down. Some of them even sink into the ground.
I want,
pretty legit.
I want all toilets to be Seattle toilets.
what is that?
Just the gutter.
It's the door that goes from just above the knee to below your chin. It's like mid chest. Every door in a Seattle public restroom is just above. If you're seated, starts just above the knee, and it goes to around your clavicle.
Is that so they can
wave at people?
Ugh.
make
I
sure
guess
you're
you
not
probably
doing
don't have-
heroin?
yeah, that's
Yeah, probably.
I mean, like,
Why
in-
would
but
you
it's
do
like
heroin
just
in your legs?
Leave it open.
Oh,
do
your
you mean?
face. You could
You
still
put it-
do heroin,
makes it
mind it
easy to
all.
see.
you put it in your toe, so it goes all the way up through your body.
It doesn't stop you from doing heroin. It just makes sure everyone knows.
I still want.
Shames
want
you for doing heroin.
One of these days, I'm gonna invent it. The asshole urinal, where it's in the center of the room. There's just one column that just comes up to your chest, and then on both sides is a urinal. So you walk up and pee, and another dude walks up and pee, and you're just staring at each other right in the eyes
Okay, I like
while
that.
you're pissing into both sides of a
like
chest high wall.
I like that.
That way you can have a nice little talk.
Yeah.
You know, just high five people, bang. Put your like drink there.
You could
Guys
do
can
something.
Cheers beer.
You could create a public type of like. So if you had some sort of, I don't know, just an object in the middle of like a festival, but it was just a series of fleshlights, and and so it's a public urinal, but you just zip
Vag
down.
wall. Oh,
And then-
okay.
and then
Or
you
you
just-
insert.
Yeah.
Well,
It's like a
if
table,
Elise were here,
basically.
she would of course mention the golf club that you can stick your
Yeah.
dick in and pee into.
I
we've
can't
all-
remember the name of that. The pissy putter or something,
Something like that.
I mentioned once to some friends that I like to pee while golfing, and that's all I ever get every birthday.
5 of them on DVD.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
Well, if you're going to look into the world of scatology, you might be interested in ExpressVPN. Thank you, Omar. Damn, ExpressVPN is a VPN service, a virtual private network that allows you to encrypt and anonymize all of your internet traffic. That's a problem because if you're on public Wi-Fi, your information may not be encrypted. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. And if it's not, somebody can just snoop all that stuff and get all your private secret data. If you use a VPN, though, essentially you establish an encrypted link to a VPN, basically another server somewhere, and then all of your traffic goes from there out to the internet. So that means that basically no one can tell where your traffic's coming from, for one, because it all looks like it's coming from that server node. And then all the information between you and that server node are encrypted. So there's no way to see what it is. That allows your connection to look like it's coming from another place. Maybe useful for you if maybe there are regional services that you want to use. And it's also very easy to use. ExpressVPN has easy-to-use apps that run seamlessly in the background of your computer, phone, and tablet. And turning it on only takes one click. You basically just pick your server and boop, turn it on, and it's on. It's that simple. Using ExpressVPN, you can safely surf on public Wi-Fi without being snooped or having any of your data stolen. You can get that protection for less than $7 a month. It's the #1 rated VPN service by TechRadar, and it comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. ExpressVPN would implore you to protect your online activity today and find out how you can get 3 months free off of a 1-year package at expressvpn.com/dude. That's expressvpn.com/dude for 3 months free with a 1-year package. Visit expressvpn.com/dude to learn more. Thank you, ExpressVPN, for making sure that my Google search results aren't wall-to-wall poop while doing my very important podcast research.
I just read that The Weeknd broke up with his 22-year-old supermodel girlfriend.
Oh, man.
What's wrong with him? I hope he's okay.
Man.
Life isn't fair.
If they can't make it, who can?
Sugar Ray.
I don't know.
They just put out a yacht rock album
Really?
What
where
is
they
that?
covered you don't know Sugar Ray?
No, I don't know what yacht rock is.
It's basically exactly what it sounds like.
Oh.
They did
It's like Kenny Loggins.
yeah.
Okay.
It's like music from the 80s.
What?
Big hair.
Halls-
Big hair.
Hall & Oates.
Hall & Oates.
Yeah, like
Hall & Oates
pop
is- okay.
and rock and roll, but nothing
Yeah.
that's
It's very
fighting against
inoffensive.
anything.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
no agenda.
I do like
All very
Hall & Oates.
chill.
Yeah.
They did a cover of Escape, the Pina Colada song. It's 2019 and Sugar Ray covered the Pina Colada song.
Man,
Okay.
How far they've
Everyone-
come as a band.
Go check that
How
out.
many people have covered that fucking song?
Not enough is the answer. And the only answer
We
that
should do a cover.
it's going to be on my gravestone. You got to
I-
cover more.
I heard. So you went to the Star Wars land, right?
Mhm.
So the Cantina apparently doesn't have the Cantina song because John Williams owns the rights to that song.
Yeah, that's right.
But here's the crazy-
It's that stupid robot that just
here-
does 90s remixes.
Here's the crazy thought, and I could be wrong on all this information, but I think I'm right.
Excellent.
The lead singer of Toto is the son of John Williams. So when John Williams inevitably dies, Toto will control the Cantina theme from Star Wars.
Well, wow.
This is the brightest timeline? I don't know what the opposite of
Is
darkest
that how
timeline
rights
is.
pass? I don't know.
Yeah, I guess
I guess it's whoever he leaves it to in his will.
It
He
really
might go.
depends what his will's
he'll be
like.
I leave it to Carrie Fisher. You're like,
Carrie.
I think some of them probably just go back to production studio or whatever also.
I mean, I guess it'd be
They just
his studio or whatever
lapse.
corporation he. How I don't know how that works.
Music copyright's very confusing.
Copyright in general. Just,
Yeah.
Just wacky.
Oh, did you hear about all the books? There's like a series of books that were written from 1924 to 1964 that they found out were never. They never renewed their copyright. So there's
Sick.
a bunch of random books just went into public domain.
So now we can
Damn.
make a bunch of free movies.
Yeah. Make
mean-
films on those books if any
mo-
of them
you
are good.
can't- Yeah, guess you can make a movie for free if you
Of
want.
Mice and Men in there? I bet that
Yes.
one's up now.
Yeah, Hemingway, Steinbeck, all
All of them.
Yeah.
All those idiots.
No copyrights.
Grapes of Wrath.
They didn't know what they were doing.
Farewell Arms.
Nice.
Well, see you want.
I can't believe no one's made movies out of that. Also, I don't know why, but Amazon really wants me to watch Catch-22, which a book that I've read. But every time I go, it's like, hey, you want to? They like have that and then 3 other versions of it that are all in a row.
Did
Why?
Did
I don't
anyone
know.
ever buy you Shogun?
No,
Alright.
so my brother, for whatever reason, got into Shogun. It was like they aired it on PBS over the course of 8 years or whatever because that's how long it is.
It's a pretty long book. Yeah.
And so he ended up watching all that, and I thought it was really boring. It seemed really boring to me.
but
series?
The Last Samurai is like that. But let's move
It's
this
way faster.
Let's move this along.
Tom Cruise, way faster.
Yeah.
It's much better. Much
Imagine
better than
Shogun.
Okay.
But Tom Cruise is not the Last Samurai. Ken
The
Watanabe. is.
premise behind Shogun is pretty good. It's like the author
Mhm.
was like, I assume Japan was like this. I think he had like been there once or something,
Whatever.
like after the war.
Right.
But then he was like, I think it's probably like this then. I can only assume.
I really want to go to an Outback Steakhouse in Japan. I found out they have them because that would be Japanese people mimicking American people mimicking Australian people,
Yeah.
and I like so badly want to know what that is.
Like, hello, here is your bloomin' onion. Like,
They also
what
don't really
accent
have-
is that?
They don't really have beef there, and it's.
What do you mean?
Hello, Wagyu.
I mean, the Wagyu.
Kobe beef.
They don't have like just the beat like the
Sure,
Big
their
ol'
meat's
slab
not
of
as
beef.
sad.
Well, I mean, that's
and
the
beaten
thing.
You don't
down
tend to
as
get, like,
ours.
yeah,
Steak.
like just a $20 steak. They
Yeah.
don't.
Oh,
That's
sure.
not really a thing.
It's more petite cuts.
So yeah, I wonder what that's going to be like. If,
No idea.
like, I want a sizzler in Japan. See what that's like. It's just mostly fish.
Weird.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, James, if we've learned anything, it's that we can't let realism get in the way of our good time. So Shogun is a masterwork.
It is. I think it's actually good.
It's supposed to be really good. I actually never read
But
it.
it's this mass. Could you imagine writing a tome about something you were vaguely familiar with? I assume this historical novel is pretty
I'm
much on
sure
point.
there's more to it.
It's pretty close enough.
Well, that just about describes the episode or the tone of most episodes of Dude Soup. And on that note, I think we've reached the end of this episode.
I know enough.
We have all been educated because of Neil's spirit here, chiming in with all these useless information. So thank you, Neil. Appreciate it. Keep shining on, you crazy diamond. And we'll see you all next week on Dude Soup.
Bye.
Goodbye, everybody.
Someone should go through that episode and then note all the times we shared useless information in that podcast without even thinking about
Time
it.
code
Was a
0
lot.
to the end.
All of it.
I was just gonna say, I think a lot of people still think Call of Duty succeeds no matter what every year and sells like crazy every year, but it's
I
not.
still don't
It
think that it's
does.
not succeeding.
No, no,
you know what
it
I mean?
sells a
Like,
ton.
Still
just
profitable.
comparatively
So-
speaking, you're right.
Just anecdotally, Black Ops 4 sold or made $500 million in like 3 days last year when it first released. So it's a ton, but it's nowhere near the Call of Duty glory days. Infinity Ward